Hello YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, how you guys doing? I'm Dan, and today I'm going to be telling my coming out story. The reason I find it so important to tell my story is not because I think it's amazing and, mind-changing, but there are so many young kids and adults who are struggling with coming out and telling the world that maybe they need some inspiration, and hopefully my story will, reach one person or maybe more. So mine all starts in 2007. I was in a show called Snow White, and I remember I liked this one guy, and I wanted to tell people, or at least one person, just so I can kind of get off my chest and, talk about it. Two of my close friends at the time, Joey and Millie, were both in the show, and I knew that I wanted to talk to them. I didn't know how to go about it, so the first thing I thought was message them on Facebook. So I wrote them a message, push send, and, the couple hours in between me sending and them responding was probably the scariest thing in my life. I didn't know if they were going to hate me, if I'd get a response. Sure enough, Joey responded first, and she, gave me her love and her support. Then Millie responded with just as much love and just as much support, and I felt so good about it, and that was like my first step of coming out and telling somebody. And I remember I came out to them as bi, and for some reason I feel like a lot of gay people come out as bi first because I feel like it's more accepted. Now when I think about it, it's so crazy. It, makes you unique and makes you who you are. So later that year, I ended up coming out to more of my friends, and the first person I actually came out to face was my best friend, and who's still my best friend, and who I live with now, Anthea. They brought her into the drum room, change room or whatever, and I was like, oh, I need to tell you something, and she was like, okay, and I was like, I'm bi, and I think in her mind she's like, you're gay. But she supported me and was like, no, that's awesome, that's so cool, like, who else did you tell? And I was like, oh, I've only told 2 other people, and you're the first person I've ever told, and, face to face, and she was so excited and so happy for me, which is so awesome. And I think this was all leading up to coming out to my parents. Bit of a backstory. So when I was younger, because my parents were so religious, and my whole family was actually, I remember my dad sitting us down when we were really young and telling us he was so scared of the whole gay lifestyle, and he was unaware of the whole situation, that he was scared that somebody might come out and he didn't know how to deal with it and all this stuff. So I remember him telling us that, and I was scared, and I was like maybe 5, 6, and I was like, I'm not gay, that's not happening. So finally now I was in grade 12, and I'd come out to some of my friends, and now it was kind of more apparent that I was gay and not bi, and I started telling people I was gay. And I also remember one of my friends, Paige, I remember when I came out to her, it was kind of just like really confused, like, wait, I thought you were gay, like, when I first met you. I thought you were out. It kind of put that in perspective for me, like, people know. So I needed to come out to my family now. The first person I came out to my family was my oldest sister, Renee. I remember I messaged her on Facebook as well, and I said, I'm gay, and I'm scared, blah, 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 all this stuff. And I was at her house when I messaged her, and she didn't check her phone, didn't check her Facebook all day, and I was there like almost all day, and I was like, come on. So finally we're like all sitting down, I was like, Ray, have you checked your Facebook? And she's like, no. And I remember I texted this to her, and she's like, no, why? And I was like, oh, you should. So then she like left the room, checked her Facebook, came back, hugged me, and was like, I love you, all this stuff. And she's like, does Holly know, who was my other sister? And I was like, no, I haven't told pretty much any of the family except for you. So on to my house we go, and we tell Holly, like, secretly. I don't think it fazed her at all. But then finally, the day came when I came out to them, and it was on National Coming Out Day. I thought, you know what, this is the perfect way to do it, and I'm going to do it this way. I need to just tell everybody, that way I can have a clear conscience and just kind of move on with my life. So I posted a status saying I'm proud I'm gay, and there were so many others on my Facebook who posted I was allies, and posted that they were bi or that they were gay. So now that it was out, I had to go home, and I kind of had to face the music, really. I walk in the house. My dad's sitting at the kitchen table, my mom's behind him on the computer, and her back was facing, because that's how the computer was situated. And I'm like walking around trying to like get stuff ready to go to Renee's house, And my dad just like simply says like, I saw your Facebook status. And my heart stopped and I was like, oh gosh. And I just was like, yep. Just trying to make it short and sweet and just get myself and get out of there. And he's like, so, why don't you tell us? And this then, started this like probably hour-long conversation. And it all started, once I sat down and he told me, being gay is a sin in the Bible. He kind of mentioned, his mental struggles with it and how he wasn't comfortable with it at all. And I just I said to him, I was like, this is enough for discussion. This is my life. This isn't a choice. I was born gay, and I finally come to terms with it, and I'm happy with myself. At the end of the conversation, he told me, he was like, I still love you. You're my son. I'm just scared for you. I also think that's something that a lot of gay kids don't understand, is that parents don't have to take on just hearing that you're gay. It's the discrimination that they're scared you're going to face. It's possibly getting beat up at school. It's getting bullied. It's getting teased. And they don't want to see their kid go through that. So me and my dad finished our conversation. My mom's still sitting behind him looking at the computer. Finally, she turns around and she's tears streaming down her face. And I'm like, why are you crying? Like, I was scared that she was going to say, like, I don't support this. Even though she had told me before that she would support any of her kids if they came out. But she was like, I'm sad that you didn't trust me enough to come out to me. And I was like, it was more than that. I was just scared from stuff that was said to me when I was younger, and it's such a big risk. Anyways, I ended up leaving the house just so that they could have time to digest and talk to each other, and that kind of gave me the sense of relief. Now it's been like 3 years, and I've had boyfriends, and now my parents are growing in their comfortability to hear about it, and they ask questions, which is so great. And I'm so proud of them to, go from where they were to where they are now. Me coming out to myself and the people who I loved really gave me the confidence to be myself. Thank you for watching the video. If you like it, please like the video, subscribe to my channel for more, and I hope this has reached somebody on a personal level, and I'll see you later.